So a couple months ago, my car was parked on the side parking on the road, and someone came and swiped my driver's side door. So now today I'm going to be polishing and trying to buff out these scratches. Thankfully it's not too deep. Usually you know if it catches on your fingernail or if you actually see the bare metal that it's too deep to polish away and you actually have to repaint. But I think we'll be fine. There's a little bit of white transfer, but it's actually not as deep as I thought it was at first. So hopefully I can just polish it out. So today we'll be starting with a iron decontamination on the door, just to make sure that my buffing pad doesn't pick up too much rough stuff. We're going to use an orange pad, a 5-inch pad with Griot's compound, and hopefully we can buff this off. So stick around, guys. We'll turn this door from average black into something really shiny and brand new again. There's also a little bit of a scratch over here on this front fender where it connects with the door, so I'll try and hit that too. So we need to make sure that we have all of our tools and equipment prepared before we start, so that we're not, running around with no plan. So I have a couple microfibers in some O&R for wiping off the polish when we're done. I have a drying towel for clearing the panel. We have our polish, our fallout remover, the pad, and then I also have a bottle of just plain water just to cool down the metal, because we are working out in the direct sunlight, and just to help if the polish dries out in the sun, you can give it a spritz of water, bring it back to life. So make sure you have your microfibers so you can clean off all the surfaces properly. We'll prime our pad with this polish and then we'll get to work. To start off our process, make sure your area is clean. Today I'm using Sonac's iron and tar remover as a panel preparation, but in general you can just use isopropyl alcohol in a 50-50 mixture with warm water, and it will do the exact same thing as a lot of these more expensive detailing brands. So you don't always need a specific product. So get that area cleaned down. You don't want your polishing pad to pick up any dust and debris or paint chips. This car was actually pressure washed a couple days before I did my polishing. So I wasn't going to give it a full wash before, but you can see I'm still picking up quite a bit of dirt. So it's a good thing that we did our pre-prep. As always, make sure you shake thoroughly. A lot of the chemicals and stuff like to separate, and a lot of it will settle at the bottom. We're going to prime our pad. Very small amount, and we'll work it in with our fingers. Since it's a brand new dry pad, you don't want to just put your regular amount on. You need to put a little bit extra. And over time, it's kind of difficult to do this while I film, but this should be good enough. Prime the pad. They usually recommend 6 times the pad size as your working area. So I'm just going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that'll be our first area that we work on. Let's get into it. Once you place your polish or compound on the panel, you're going to spread it on at a low speed. In this case, I actually spread it a little bit and then I realized I needed way more product. I just needed to fix this scratch in today's video, so we're not really focused on the process of polishing your paint. I will be releasing a video as more of a how-to for beginners and newbies, so stay tuned for that in the future. But today, we're just going to be watching how I work and my process, and the before and after results are going to be pretty cool, so stick around. In earlier clips, I was using Essence by CarPro. It's more of a polish for enhancing the paint. It doesn't really cut into defects. They say it's a compound, which is why I started with it first, but it's honestly more like a polish with a little bit of ceramic in there. So it wasn't cutting enough. So later on, I had to switch to Griot's Complete Compound, and with a few passes of that, I saw way more of a difference. I like both of these products. They cover everything you would need in your methods. I have the cutting compound for large defects, deeper scratches, and things that might be embedded in the paint, and then the CarPro Essence allows us to leave a lot more shine and protection because it actually has ceramic inside the polish. So it gives you a step ahead when you're going to ceramic coat your car afterwards. I thought that these scratches were light enough where just the Essence would be needed, but it turns out I needed Griot's cutting compound. This video, and most of the stuff you see from detailers on YouTube, it's all sped up. The process in real life takes a lot more patience and a lot more purpose than you see in this video. So please don't compare yourself to how fast we're working. All of this stuff is sped up 3 or 4 times. Finally, we can see the difference that we made. All of those white marks and paint transfer totally gone here in these before and afters. Crazy difference. This would have cost me more than $300 or $400 at the body shop, and I did it in my own driveway in just an hour. As we reach our before and after vids, I am very happy with how this turned out. You can see all of that white paint transfer is gone. There are only a couple of the deepest areas left on the scratch, but I was able to bring back the black paint to most of this stuff, and then later in I can go in with a paint pen and touch up any big paint chips. But when you stand far away from the car, maybe like more than 5 feet, you don't even notice that there was any blemish there in the first place. It's only when you kneel down near the car and inspect it that you realize it may have been scratched before. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. I also have a follow-up photo here. 2 weeks later, I touched it up with some paint pen and I gave it a quick wash, just to spray down, and it looks like the scratch is totally gone.